Hello, hello. Hey, you guys. Um, Good morning. Another beautiful morning in Campbell River. I'm on the island and hanging out with my brother as he recovers and getting stronger every day. It's beautiful. The magic of the human body. We can just kick the shit out of it and it still comes back. Hey, honestly. I got on the scales myself this morning and maybe have to pay attention. Listen, I wanted to talk this morning just a little bit about trust. Trust is can we trust? What's trust based on? Where do we get this idea of trust? And, often we make up opinions about others because somebody said something. Can't trust them. I see a lot of mistrust in the system right now. It's like, can't trust the government. And it's really interesting. It's almost like our default is trust. Does the word trust, or does the idea of trust come or not to trust? Does it come out of fear? Who do we trust? So the idea of trusting or not trusting, is it based on our conditioned belief system? It's just, there's so much that goes into it, because the mind is constantly judging. So I remember in my life there was times when I thought I understood that my mind was couldn't be trusted. But I thought if I did enough work, or I read enough books, or if I studied enough, or I went to enough seminars, that I could kind of reprogram it. I could get a brainwashing, and yet that didn't really work for me. It didn't. It was I suppose it made some incremental difference, but it didn't really work for me. Trying to change the way I looked at the world from the mind didn't really work for me. And, I fancy myself in my mind a free thinker, and loving, and, I know a lot of folks that are in the kind of the new age movement, if you will, that I think also fancy themselves as loving, and yet not a lot of trust. So where does this "I don't trust you" thing come from? Whether it's I don't trust the government, or I don't trust my neighbor. We've created a society of locked doors. We lock the doors. I don't, but a lot of people, that's it. They live behind locked doors, little prisons with video, everywhere, because we don't trust. So how do we shift that? How do we? There's no way to protect ourselves from whatever we perceive the enemy to be, ever. So how do we live free? Because all the precautions we put in place to keep ourselves safe actually are like the walls of our own prison. And it's based out of fear, out of not trusting. And, ego will say, well, that's bullshit, but it isn't. It's based out of fear and not trusting. So how do we get free? is freedom possible? And I believe that it really is. There's my brother coming with a vacuum cleaner. Awesome. I trust he's not going to vacuum right now. But there he is. He's going around. You would never know this guy had a massive heart attack a week ago. He's just so good. Anyway, so what do? Well, I'll tell you, when say a fella has a massive heart attack, all of a sudden, he very quickly trusting the medical system. I'm like, yes, I trust the medical system. But it's interesting that we're how we don't, how we fall into that place of not trusting. One of the things that's coming up for me around that is this idea of, we have this virus thing that's happening, and it's interesting to hear everybody's opinion about this, and they don't trust. Some people don't even think it exists, and yet millions of people are dying. It seems like millions are dying, and I don't know where the hell if that's true or not. But I don't know anything. But what's magical is, how do we get free? And the freedom comes from being in the moment. So it's not from a belief. It's from the experience of the moment, is where freedom lives. And lots of religious people who believe in a God, or believe in they say, yes, I believe in God, or I believe in, are not trusting. They're not living in the moment. They're full of fear, often. So how do we escape the fear? And so that we don't have to build a fortress to live in, so that we can be free. And my experience is that we let go of all of, we first of all, we observe that our conditioned beliefs have built this prison that we live in. Our conditioned beliefs have tell us that it's not a safe world. And it started very, very young, with don't trust strangers, don't talk to strangers, And now it's interesting to, walk down the beach, here I walk down and people keep their eyes down and don't look at each other. And it's interesting to watch that kind of a basic mistrust. And I'm going by and saying, hi, because we're like, I see it as we're here in a like an adventure park. Imagine that life is an adventure park, and we never know when we're going to leave the adventure park, and we can be here living a daily adventure, and just follow our intuition, because we're connected to the adventure. And so if we recognize that we're conditioned and that our belief systems are holding us in a certain pattern, and that we're not our beliefs, and that we're not our mind, we're not our thoughts, we can start to drop away from them. Trusting our crazy thinking and realizing that we have to let go of that. If there's anything I can't trust, it's my own crazy thinking. And hey, Jason. So that's the message today. Trust. Just look at the word. Just take some time and look at it. Where did it come from? Based on what? Stuff your mother taught you? Was she, where was she at? Or your dad, who may have lived in fear, can't trust the neighbors, can't trust those French people, can't trust those black people, can't trust those, all of the stuff that we heard, can't trust those white people, and it got conditioned into us. And can't trust the government. Death and taxes, baby. They're gonna get you. We were programmed You know, so that's a, you know, when we sit down and actually get to know people, they're all, everybody's worthy of trust. Everybody's, you know, for the most part, unless they're really, really not well, have good intentions. Everybody. So that's my thing on trust. Hopefully that helped in some way. Going to read today from the book, it's the 23rd of November. My gosh. I've been here for 10 days with my brother. I think it's time to go home. Although home is wherever we are, really, in a way. But okay, November 23rd, thought for the day. How about that? Oh, glasses. My little readers. So this is from a little book that was written 1954 by a fella who was a fellow that was in the 12-step world, in the AA at the time. And the fellowship was very small, 1954, right? It was only like 15 years since the book, the big book was published. And it says, thought for the day. I no longer refuse to do anything. I no longer refuse to do anything because I cannot do it to perfection. Nice. Yeah. And who judges perfection, right? I no longer refuse to do anything because I cannot do it to perfection. Many of us alcoholics use the excuse of not being able to do something perfectly to enable us to do nothing at all. Isn't that something? Many of us alcoholics use the excuse of not being able to do something perfectly to enable us to do nothing at all. We pretend to be perfectionists. We're good at telling people how a thing should be done, but when we come to the effort of doing it ourselves, we balk. We say to ourselves, yeah, that's my brother. Can you hear him? He's great. We say to ourselves, I might make a mistake, so I better let the whole thing slide. In AA, we set our goals high, but that does not prevent us from giving things a shot, giving things a try. The mere fact that we will never fully reach these goals does not prevent us from doing the best we can. Have I stopped hiding behind the smokescreen of perfectionism? Beautiful, eh? Isn't that sweet? Good, you know. Meditation for the day. In the world ye shall have tribulation. In the world ye shall have tribulation. But be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. Keep an undaunted spirit. Keep your spirit free and conquered. No, keep your spirit free and unconquered. You can be undefeated and untouched by failure in all its power by letting your spirit overcome the world. Rise above earth's turmoil in the secret chamber of perfect peace and confidence. When a challenge comes to you, remember you have God's help and nothing can wholly defeat you. I like that. There's so many words for being in the moment. He calls it the secret chamber. That's beautiful. And the earth's turmoil is our thought, our thinking. It's our thinking, earth's turmoil. It's beautiful. Secret chamber of perfect peace and confidence. That's such a great description of this moment. When we drop into meditation, we'll see that. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may have confidence and be of good cheer. I pray that I may not fear the power of failure. Okay. That's beautiful. It's interesting how the mind, when thoughts come up, we're going to meditate. When thoughts come up, hi Tracy, just as we become aware of them, they disappear. If we become aware of them and don't engage and don't attach, they just disappear. Okay? So the struggle that we all have is with our crazy thinking. And the trouble is that most of us think that our crazy thinking is trustable. We think we know, and we don't know. So the only knowing is in the moment. The only knowing is here and now. So we're going to sit and meditate for a couple of minutes. Just find a comfortable spot if you can, and drop in. We're going to just take a couple of minutes to sit quietly and meditate. Anybody want to join us in the meditation? Yeah, maybe. Meditation is, kind of the pathway to this moment, to connection with power, because we are powerless in the phenomenal world, in the dynamic world. We're always struggling. So discovering and accessing that power in the moment is the key to the freedom from struggle. Okay, so let's drop in. Close your eyes. Just use the breath to bring you into this moment. Just use the breath. And if the mind is busy, the mind is even too busy to meditate, but you can hear my voice, just know that that's what's happening. The busy mind is saying no way. So if you become aware of the busy mind saying no, then without attaching to it, then the beginning of awareness is happening. The beginning of awareness of consciousness is happening. And become conscious of the mind saying, no, I won't meditate. I'm too busy. And then you can drop past that. Just try it for 2 minutes. And the mind will say, okay, maybe 2 minutes. And you can almost make a deal with the mind. Say, come on, I'm just going to try this. It won't hurt. Some of us are so deep in our thoughts that we think we are our thoughts. We don't know that there's something else. Something behind. Something that watches all the time. And we are that watcher. So as we drop deep in with the breath, yeah. So experience the body. We're sitting in this body. And the body is not us either. The body is, in a way, it's just a vehicle in this amusement park, this adventure park called life. We take so seriously. So just drop into the body and experience it, be conscious of it. Let go of our beliefs, let go of our conditions, let go of our judgments, just for a moment. Just be here now, free of thought. Just feel the tension lifting off your body. Really settle in to the depths of the moment. Stillness. Stillness is there. In the stillness is the undescribable, the unknowable, beyond the mind. Remember, if thoughts come, just let them go. Just release them. Don't pick them up. They're going to come. Just let them fly by. Thank you, you guys. Just come back. Wow, thank you. So I just want to mention that we talked about trust and fear. And fear, if there is a virus, it's called fear. And the trick with fear is each time that a fear comes, to just come into this place, into this moment, into this connection with higher self. Right? And fear disappears. Okay. Love you guys. We'll talk soon.